when the system of Jezebel has been established within the company of the believers, Jezebel attaches herself to men and women of influence. This is why Jezebel went to join herself to who? Ahab, the king. Because she knew that if her immoralities, remember, I said to us that the system that is called Jezebel has 4 pillars. 1, immorality. 2, idolatry. 3, unrepentant sin. What's the 4th one? Falsehood. Falsehood, false teaching. Are you with me? 4 things. And the spirit of that system is threefold. It's control, it is manipulation, it is seduction. So the system itself has 4 pillars. The spirit of the system, the way it finds expression, is through control, is through seduction, is through manipulation. So notice that Jezebel chose her target very carefully. Very carefully. And she made sure she went for the king. So within the context of church life, you will find out that what the Jezebel spirit is doing now is that the Jezebel spirit does not go for floor members. If she can get pastors to speak her language, if she can get worship leaders to speak her language, do you know how powerful music is? Music is cohesive in nature. Music can coerce you into certain things. I remember when I was in the world, I broke up with one of my girlfriends that time. A grown man, I was sitting down listening to a song and I was crying. Grown man. The song was touching me in places that grown man. Some of you know how powerful music can be. When you want to pray, there are certain times that you are flat in your soul. Very flat in your soul. And then just the sound of a spirit-inspired song. And then you begin to soar. Music can coerce you. That's why a Christian does not listen to every kind of music. Music is spiritual. Very spiritual. That's why a good church ensures that what they sing must also be doctrinally sound. Must be doctrinally sound. So what Jezebel does is that she looks for men of influence within the body that can bear her language, can bring her control, bring her manipulation, and bring her seduction. So the people that Jezebel targets the most are anyone who can influence the body. And this is why her major targets are preachers. Her major targets are people who have been elevated to the place where they can offer ministry to the body. This is why people like me, we are crying that within the context of the pulpit, within the context of ministry, we must ensure that we do not allow the Jezebel spirit to thrive. Remember, it's immorality, it's idolatry, it's unrepentant sin, and it's falsehood and false teaching. Sure, you know that somebody can teach something false, but the person is not a false teacher. Are you with me? Somebody can have a false teaching, but that does not automatically make the person a false teacher. Because there's a difference between a false teaching and a false teacher, and there's a difference between error and heresy. Are you here? I can make an error, for instance, as I'm teaching, and say something I should not say. One true sign of a genuine teacher is if that error is pointed out, he will come and correct himself. Are you with me? When you find somebody who, when the error is pointed out, rather than correct him or herself, they take it a step further to institutionalize the thing they taught. Is no longer error. The person has deliberately chosen to mislead and to manipulate the church of God. That's Jezebel. Are you with me? I'll give you a case in point. Many years ago, our father in the Lord, Papa Adeboye, came and said that if you don't tithe, you will not go to heaven. Are you here? And I was privileged to be within the system at the time. And within my circles, I taught people that that thing, some of you who have followed me for long know that I've said that thing repeatedly. That thing does not align with the doctrinal pattern of Scripture. Now, years later, Pastor Adeboye himself has come out to say, I made a mistake. Now, why did he come out to say, I made a mistake? Because people began to raise it. Sir, this thing is not correct. Daddy Kumuyi himself said some things early in his ministry. I watched the video where he said, there are many things that I have said. I will correct them before I die. I watched the video. Before I go, either he said before I go or before I die, I will correct them. He was preaching somewhere outside the country. I saw that video. And some of them he has already mentioned. In fact, in that video, he was correcting his people that they had a crusade, and within that crusade, some people refused to sing with the general church choir because they said that the people were not using the right head covering or something. Who saw that video? Okay, nobody. Okay. The right head covering or something. And then he was saying, no, because of head covering, we will not say that we should not sing with people. I watched the video. I may not be able to find it, but I know it's there somewhere. Right? A false teacher, when you point out to the person that this thing is wrong, he will take it further to institutionalize the heresy because he doesn't want to be corrected. That's the spirit of Jezebel. And Jezebel understands that if we get influential people to run this package, then it becomes very easy to determine the shape of the church in a generation. You know something that bothers me? I am extremely bothered that you can have 400 and something denominations in a city, but you can't find the influence of God on the streets. We should be bothered. You meet somebody in the public space, you say, I'm so and so. I am part of this commission. Then when the person begins to act, you now wonder. He's not even as good as an unbeliever. An unbeliever is supposed to be bad. He's not as good as a bad unbeliever. He's terrible. Have you entered into people's office and you see big picture of a general overseer of one place, and then you say, before I go sign your paper, you'll give me something? Sometimes I want to look at the picture and say, see your Ghana. Blatantly, in broad daylight, under the shining light of the theme of the year. This is our year of growing in grace. They are stealing under the banner of the year. They don't care. Because the church is not the denominational building. is the quality of men that come out of the denomination. That's the church. So if you don't have the right quality of men, then there's no church in that territory. You may have buildings of denominations in that territory, but if the buildings, the men coming out of it don't have the right quality, you don't have the ecclesia.